you. All right, good morning, everyone. Let's call this meeting of the TRPA Legal Committee to order. It's Wednesday, January 28th, and it is 8:30 on the nose. First item is roll call. Catherine, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Fastinos?
Here.
Ms. Aldine?
Here.
Ms. Loomer?
Here.
Mr. Keycapper is absent, and Ms. Williamson?
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Just a quick reminder, Alex, if you want my attention, let me know and not have a sidebar chat with anyone. I'll look up to the screen to see if you have questions. The first item on our agenda is the public comment period on any items listed on the agenda. If you wish to address the legal committee, please either click raise hand in Zoom or dial *9 on your phone. We are going to limit public comment to 3 minutes per speaker, and let's go ahead. Nobody's in the room. Catherine, is there anyone online wishing to address the legal committee?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have one hand raised online. Gavin, please unmute to make your comment.
Hey, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Legal Committee Chair and members. Gavin Feiger, Keep Tahoe Blue. I just want to say thanks for this action, especially in the height of summer and the threat of golden mussels last year. Both TRPA staff and a big thanks to OBEXers too for reporting this and TRPA for following through. It really shows the commitment to AIS defense across the lake. Yeah, that's it. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Gavin.
And Madam Chair, there are no other hands raised to comment.
Thank you. We'll close public comment then and move on to approval of the agenda. Graham, is there anything that we need to change or is it good to go as is?
It's good to go.
Cool, thank you. The agenda approved is posted. Let's move on then to agenda item 3, which is approval of minutes. We have a draft set of minutes from December 17th on page 9 of our packets. Anyone have any changes? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up, agenda item 4, which is discussion and possible recommendation of approval for resolution of enforcement action, Alexander Balbus and Dennis Luzansky. Sorry, Mr. Luzansky, if that's not right. Tampering of watercraft seal and attempt to launch without AIS inspection at Obexers Marina, Homewood, California, TRPA file number code 2025-0013. Information can be found on page 91. And I'm going to turn this over to Steve, please, to present.
All right, thank you very much. Again, this is resolution of enforcement action with Alexander Bulbus and Dennis Luzansky. Consent calendar item 2, page 9 of your packet. Again, the violation involves the attempting to launch a watercraft with a tampered seal. It was found that the violation occurred at the Obexters Marina on the west shore of Lake Tahoe. You can go to the next slide there. Show where that is located within the Lake Tahoe. Quick description of the violation. In July 2025, TRPA received information from Obexters Marina that Mr. Luzansky and had attempted to launch a watercraft owned by his friend Alexander Bulbus, which with a tampered seal attached. TRPA later discovered that the seal being presented to launch in Lake Tahoe was attached at the Tahoe Keys Marina in August of 2024 and would have been removed the day prior when that watercraft was documented being launched at Folsom Lake. At the time of the Obexters launch, the Lake Tahoe seal would have been removed and replaced with a Folsom seal. So it would not have had the Lake Tahoe seal. It would have had to been reattached by somebody. So the attempt to launch, we can go to the next slide. The attempt to launch with a tampered seal occurred in violation of TRPA Code Section 63.4.1C, which prohibits the launching or attempting to launch of any motorized watercraft into the waters of Lake Tahoe, and TRPA Code Section 63.4.1E, which prohibits the alteration and modifications or unauthorized use of an inspection seal or other device used by TRPA. Bulbus and Luzansky have taken responsibility for the unauthorized activities and have both agreed to pay a settlement in which they will pay a penalty of $5,000 to TRPA. Staff is recommending that the governing board approve the proposed settlement agreement.
Thanks, Steve. Go ahead, Sean.
I have a question. No, I mean, this was obviously a deliberate intent to deceive. This wasn't accidental, it was deliberate. And I know that, obviously the compact gives us the right to charge $5,000 on a daily basis for any violation. So what was the owner of the boat aware that his friend was attempting to launch the boat without a seal from Folsom Lake?
I don't feel we got really the exact story ever of who did what. They just decided, the owner of the boat decided, he would take responsibility for what happened.
Okay,
He said he claimed that he didn't do it and, has never really admitted to doing it. And, and so, but has taken responsibility for it's very clear what happened. So,
oh, okay, but it was done with, we don't know if it was done with his authorization or without his authorization, because they just haven't been forthcoming.
no, we don't know if
Okay,
Mr. Lusonsky, you know, did it or if Mr. Bulbus did it at some time, or if they did it together.
okay,
I feel Mr. Bulbus probably um would have been involved because
mhm,
the boat, this wasn't in the staff report, but the boat was launched at Folsom Lake multiple times over that summer. So, um, and it was by Mr. Bulbus, so he was there at that launching.
okay,
So felt definitely that had some responsibility to it, but
sure,
just not clear on how much each person had.
yeah.
And so when, in that case, we resolve it with this, together as a settling party.
And this is consistent with our matrix, our penalty matrix.
This is a new violation that we've really never taken before. So,
Well, we've had attempted
um,
launches that didn't involve a seal. It was just an attempted launch without going through the proper protocols. But you think this is fair?
I think this is the biggest violation that we've ever taken.
Yeah.
For something like this. I don't recall ever bringing one to the board before for attempt to launch.
Well,
I good. I think in the matrix, or not the matrix, but the history of enforcements
Mhm.
that we've had, there's been some that are attempting to launch without an inspection. And I think this is kind of whether I'm catching Steve, what the difference is here. I think this is kind of analogous to that. And there's an addition here of like maybe an additional potential violation of or a violation of tampering with the
Mhm.
seal. So that's an additional. There are probably two different code provisions. But the history of the matrix or the history of these violations will show, I think some that have settled for about $4,000. There's one in there from several years ago for $7,500. You don't really know what I don't know what the facts of those
Mhm.
other ones are, or we could go back and
Yeah,
check. Probably this is within the range, but as we've talked about, you can always seek more. If we were going to court over this, I would say at a very minimum, it would be at $10,000,
mhm.
right? And
I know, but this is an attempt to avoid litigation, and I appreciate that. To me, in my mind, there's a difference between attempting to launch without an inspection, This is deliberate and a deliberate attempt to deceive because they tried to, jerry rig the, the seal back into position, right?
Mhm.
So they knew perfectly well that what they were doing was
oh
not
yeah,
legitimate. So I'm not, I think it would warrant a higher penalty, but I'm not suggesting that. I don't want you to have to go back and renegotiate, but I just, I don't know.
Be warned, people, right? This is,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna take this seriously.
Mhm.
right.
So I
Right.
think 5,000 to me certainly gets attention.
Hmm.
Yeah. When I think of all the violations that we deal with, and I've talked to Dennis about this a little bit, I feel like the $5,000 is a deterrent for this type of violation. And from, when people see this, we don't have a lot of these coming to the board and getting out there.
Mhm.
It's probably been a long time since we even had one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that was resolved in the past or if it was involved with something else, but um, I don't know any boat owners that are gonna wanna pay $5,000 for attempt, for doing this, if they know, if there's a possibility of getting caught.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
I feel that the penalty does fit. We could go more, it's good to hear your opinion on it and we'll definitely take that into account as we go forward. And if this continues to happen and become a problem, if we're seeing it, I feel we should be raising
Mhm.
the penalty up.
Yeah, I
If it's
agree.
not a deterrence.
Um, just, point of interest, does Folsom Lake have any AIS? Or are they AIS free?
Yeah, this is Dennis Abagalo, Aquatic Invasive Species Program Manager for TRPA. Yes, they do have some invasive species. They do not have any invasive mussels that we're
Okay.
aware of,
Okay,
but I believe they have mud snails and invasive clams and potentially some invasive plants that's similar to what we have.
and they did intercept a boat with golden mussels, I understand recently.
They have.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. If there are no other questions or comments from the committee, I'm looking for a motion to recommend approval of the settlement agreement as shown in attachment A.
So moved.
Any other discussion? Catherine, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Aldine,
Yes,
Ms. Loomer,
Yes.
Ms. Fastinos?
Yes.
Ms. Williamson?
Yes,
Madam Chair, the motion passes.
thank you. And thanks, staff,
Yeah.
for bringing that.
Yes.
Moving on to agenda item 5, committee member comments. Any committee members have any comments? All right, our final matter of business is our general public interest comment period. Any member of the public wishing to address the legal committee on any item listed or not listed on the agenda may do so at this time. Public comment will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Anybody, nobody's in the room. Is there anybody online, Catherine, that wishes to make public comment?
Madam Chair, there are no hands raised to comment.
Okey doke. With that, we will close public comment and I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, EIP is going to start at 9. Thank you. And main board after that. Right? 10:30. Thank you. All right. No earlier than 10:30. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.